In the past, there have been numerous reboots or remakes of old anime. Some have been successful and some have failed miserably. But why? Why haven't we seen a coherent process in remakes? Can't they just take the manga, take note of what they did wrong in the first anime, and make a new one with all the mistakes corrected? Well, yes, but it's not that easy. And there is one main factor why the worst remakes have been the worst, so keep watching if you want to know. Let's remember that the goal of a remake is to take an anime, redesign it, and present it as new. Sometimes because the first adaptation wasn't that good, or because it wasn't very faithful to the manga. To point out what the main factors are for a remake to be successful, let's take one of the not so good remakes and note what they did wrong. Take Shaman King for instance, one of the most memorable shonens of all time, with a great premise and a deep story, aired in 2001 with 64 episodes. So why did it need a remake 20 years later? Well, the anime takes a different path in its story and diverges from the manga a lot, where at the ending it's kinda cheap, and the ending of the manga is more profound. This remake was an opportunity to revive the anime with a story more faithful to the manga. So why do people find it worse than the original? To make it simple, it's because of this. To cover the entire 32 volumes of the manga in only 52 episodes, they had to fill the crap out of it with the most important stuff in each episode, making the pace faster than a truck running over the protagonist of any isekai. The problem with that is that the new viewers weren't able to connect with the characters, so the build-up and payoff felt cheap. Now, to update the anime, they had to come out with a new appealing style, but in the process, that change made them weird for old viewers. And well, not a great animation, not bad, but leaves to be desired. And finally, not subscribing to this channel could affect the next remake of your favorite anime. Well, maybe. Better not to risk it. Those three are the ones I found to be the most important for remakes. Of course, pacing is crucial, because if it's a remake, it makes no sense to keep all the filler. It exists mainly so that the anime does not overtake the manga. However, in remakes, this shouldn't be the case. But neither the other extreme, like Shaman King, where it was so fast that empathy with the characters didn't exist. This depends on the director, where it can be done well or just awful. Now, the art style should be a must keep. Most remakes are of anime that were iconic in their time, not only for the story, but also for their character design. Just look what happened with Bash from Trigun. His hair is one of the most iconic things in his character design, but the change makes all viewers feel weird. He went from being the most wanted man alive to a boy. But obviously, there are some exceptions. A refresh in art style is not bad if it doesn't change what makes them unique from the beginning. For example, Fruits Basket. They just look newer, but you don't see a complete change in the hair. Trigun. Now, obviously, if the main source is too old, it's necessary a change of design so that it could be more attractive to the new market. Such animes like Tororo and Devilman Crybaby. Finally, the animation has to be fine. Maybe for a super iconic anime it has to be better, but for some others there's not much to ask, right? Well, here's the catch. The only answer as to why the next remakes might fail, it's the worst nightmare of all of us. And the answer you were looking for from the beginning is CGI. Yeah. It's CGI. I know it's anticlimactic, but yes, the number one thing that kills remakes is CGI. Why? Do I have to say why? Even I, a faithful believer of CGI, know that this is not a good approach for an anime. You see, most of the community has demonized CGI, and the last thing they want to see is their favorite anime remade as block. So even if the show hasn't aired yet, chances are most people will despise it just because of the CGI, and obviously won't watch it. Its fanbase will erase its existence, and it will fall into oblivion. But hey, there's always an exception for things like that, and some remakes may work. I really like the CGI in Trigun Stampede, but not most of us. Okay, so these are the main factors to keep in mind to not f up a remake. Well, but you may still ask, these are just factors. But why remakes are more complex than we think? Well, I lied. There is another factor that affects all the others in that list, and the decision on how it's approached can affect the anime a lot. See, in general, the story of the anime shouldn't change much from the main source. the manga, right? So for a great remake, either the director or the screenwriter must translate the same magic that the first anime conveyed. And that should be obvious, but it's not easy to achieve. Just check this out. In the case of Shaman King, those who liked the remake were mainly the old viewers, and not those who hadn't seen the original. All this according to my anime list reviews I have seen. All this because the old viewers already had an attachment to the anime, and the new ones didn't. So when the pacing of the anime only focuses on telling the whole story, it fails to hook the new viewers. And in most cases, it happens exactly the other way around, when the staff messes up a lot with the characters, the story, the pacing, etc. That pisses off the old viewers, but pleases the new ones. What I'm trying to say is, anime remakes are complex because they have to appeal to the new viewers and the old ones in order to be successful. That's why Vash has this haircut. This was an attempt to make his character design more appealing to the new audience, because the majority of the market is supposed to be young viewers who haven't seen the original, and well, that's a mistake. But of course, this approach can work in other animes like the old ones we have already said before. And interestingly, there aren't that many bad remakes. Obviously, they exist, but they are not the majority, and most of the worst ones are honestly the ones that use CGI, because it's not appealing to anyone. Well, at least in this form. Maybe that's how it works for them financially. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe after all, CGI is the root of all evil. Oh no, the fucking CGI conversation again. But what do you think? Write in the comment section your thoughts, and what is that anime that you want a remake of? My name is S.Lynks, and I'll see you in the next one.